Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Happy to have you here with us today. We're continuing on our Final Fantasy XIV playthrough today. We'll be moving through the expansion content for A Realm Reborn. We just recently learned about Lady Iceheart, and we are in Camp Dragonhead now and need to speak with Horshaphant. Let's see here. Let's get the right scenes going here, and then we'll be on our way. There we go. Sorry about that. Anyways, I had the microphone off there. Our hearts have been stoked to blazing in preparation for your arrival. It would not do for such a distinguished personage to catch cold whilst enjoying our hospitality. The gesture is much appreciated. I fear I shall ever struggle in cold climes. Ah, good Master Alphino, an honor as always. Likewise, Lord Horshaphant. Forgive us yet another imposition. I fear we have relied overmuch on your aid since you so generously assisted us in locating the Enterprise. Nonsense. Any debts incurred have long since been repaid. Besides, who can say what the future may bring? House Fortin may even seek the aid of your newly formed Crystal Braves. In any case, I am simply delighted that the Holy See is at last willing to grant you an audience. No doubt your discoveries at Snowcloak helped to justify the decision. This recent resurgence in heretical activity is of grave concern to us all. But to the matter at hand. Sir Amaric arrived in Camp Dragonhead earlier, and I am told he is eager to meet with you at your first convenience. You are doubtless weary from your journey and desirous to rest a while by the warmth of our hearth. But if you are willing to forego such comforts, pray inform the knight stationed outside the intercessory. He will grant you entrance and send word to the other attendees. As inviting as your hearth sounds, I think it best we proceed to the intercessory forthwith. All right. Anyway, how y'all doing today? I hope everything's going okay with you wherever you happen to be. If you'd like to drop us a comment down in the chat, we'd certainly love to hear from you. And if you've got anything that's on your mind, by all means, let us know that too. We'd love to at least contribute to the conversation. Of course, if you'd prefer just to sit there and lurk and enjoy the atmosphere with us, that's fine too. We're just happy to have you here regardless. Get a couple messages dropped down here in the chats, and we'll go ahead and move on to the next step. All right. Speak with the House Fortin Guard. We have been expecting you, madam. Pray, take your ease inside, and I shall summon the others.
Have faith, my friend. You need only state your case with confidence and clarity.
Commander Leveilleur, it is both an honor and a pleasure to meet you. I am Emmerich, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights.
Alphino Leveilleur, at your service. Your reputation precedes you, Sir Emmerich. I think we will find that we have much in common.
Speaking of reputations, yours towers over us all. Does it not?
It does indeed, Lord Commander.
I am not too proud to admit that I have followed your activities with an interest bordering on fascination. Full glad was I to learn that you would be joining us. Now then, shall we begin?
We know full well that the Garleans will return in force ere long. What is more, we have yet to achieve a lasting victory over the primal menace. The beast tribes continue to summon their gods, and each incarnation is stronger than the last. Ishgard is not immune to these threats. I must reiterate that it would behoove your nation to rejoin the Eorzean Alliance.
Once again, I must respectfully disagree.
On what grounds?
Despite their presence in Kurthus, the Ixal do not concern us. Their territorial claims pertain to Gridanian lands, and it is the people of Gridania whom they harry. Consequently, the Holy See judges this to be a Gridanian affair, and Ishgard does not intervene in the internal affairs of other nations. Even were that not the case, our forces are wholly committed to the Dravanian conflict. We have not the knights to spare. As for the Garleans, we are not ignorant of history. We have observed the rise and expansion of the Empire, and we agree that it is only a matter of time before they resume their campaign in Eorzea.
Then surely it would be in our best interests to present a united front.
Mayhap one day, but not yet. Gaius van Belsar is dead, and the legion of conscripts he left behind lacks the will to fight. We think it highly unlikely that they will emerge from behind the walls of their castra for some time.
Forgive me, but if Ishgard's position has not changed, why did you agree to this meeting?
It was not only as a representative of Ishgard that I came here.
Pardon?
It is not within my power to change Ishgardian policy, regardless of my personal feelings. There is, however, one area in which I may exert a measure of influence. Concerns have been raised over the supplies House Forton has offered to Revenant's Toll. These have led to calls for restrictions on the provision of aid to foreign powers. I can ensure that the shipments continue unabated.
Sir Emmerich, we would be in your debt.
No, you would not, for I require something in exchange. Of late, there has been a flurry of Dravanian activity, the purpose of which was not immediately clear. However, our astrologians have since observed alarming changes in the heavens. The dragon star waxes unnaturally bright, and there are whispers that it portends the resurrection of Midgard-Sorma.
The fallen guardian of Silvertear Falls? That's absurd.
Full many times have I gazed upon the dragon's corpse still wound around the Agrius, and wondered how different our world might be if it yet lived to plague the skies. I do not know. and I do not wish to know, nor does any son of Ishgard. Yet the mere presence of Dravanian forces is not sufficient grounds to send knights to Mordona, whatever our astrologians say. As I told you before, we have not the forces to spare.
But we do. So you will intervene on our behalf if we agree to watch over the Keeper of the Lake.
Do you accept these terms?
I do. I will see that you are kept abreast of any developments. I regret that we could not come to a similar agreement on other matters, but I understand that you are not at liberty to make such decisions. Nevertheless, I hope that what we have accomplished here today will serve to demonstrate to your countrymen that we can work together towards a common goal. Mayhap one day we shall look back on this moment as the first step towards a united Eorzea.
Mayhap we shall, Commander.
What is the meaning of this?
The caravan, my lord. It's been attacked. It was Iceheart, my lord.
What? By the Fury! All our precautions were for naught?
And take the money on that one for sure. Just when we were starting to make progress. And to make matters worse, the caravan they spoke of was bound for Revenant's Toll of all places. Honestly, were I so inclined, I should think the gods were conspiring against us. Happily, however, I am not. I would know more of this attack. Let us speak with Lord Horchefant and find out what he has learned. My sincerest apologies for the interruption, my friends, but the situation is such that we must act swiftly. If you would be so kind as to elaborate. Iceheart's heretics fell upon the caravan bound for Revenant's Toll as it was passing through Boulder Downs. 'Twas an ambush, swift and ruthless. In an instant every knight was slain, every crate seized. Then, as quickly as they had appeared, they were gone. 'Twould be an impossible feat without knowledge of the route, knowledge to which only a select few are privy, I presume. Quite. We can pursue that avenue of inquiry in due course. It seems to me that examining the scene of the ambush should be our first concern. The trail is yet warm. We must act swiftly, as Lord Horchefant said, lest crucial evidence be lost. You have a knack for discerning hidden truths, Anne. Why don't you go and inspect the ambush site in person? An excellent idea. Inform my men of your intent upon arrival, and they will gladly share their findings. Sounds like a plan. I will go check that out. Move along, adventurer. There's nothing for you. Eh? Lord Horshaphant bid you speak with us. Then you must be... Oh, beg your pardon, Scion. Whoops, I skipped one. Whole thing's a bit odd if you ask me. Would have been easier to just steal it, though a damn sight harder to conceal it, I'll allow. Reckon they came prepared, probably with wagons of their own hidden away off. Ah, but pay no heed to my ramblings. Absent a proof, 'tis naught but speculation. Might be as the squire receiving care at the observatorium could tell you something more factual. That is, if he's awake. Unlike myself, he was there during the attack, not that his presence amounted to much. Right, let's interview the witness then. You've come to ask about the attack, haven't you? We came upon them before the entrance to the Hall of the Seven Echoes. Pilgrims we marked them as, lost and ill-equipped for a journey further north. Our leader called out to them and one stepped forward to answer. Slowly she approached, her silver hair flowing in the wind like melting snow. Just a young girl, I thought, some poor lost lamb in search of salvation. Our leader must have thought the same. Else, why would he let her draw so close? They exchanged some words I couldn't hear, and she leaned forward as if to kiss his cheek, and then he sighed and crumpled to the ground. I didn't know what had happened till I saw the snow turn red. And then there was red everywhere I looked. I tried to fight, but took a blow to the head, and by the time I came to, the others were dead, and the heretics were unloading the wagon. I couldn't... I mean, they'd have killed me, so I just lay still and listened. Iceheart's people spoke of deliverance and resurrection, and they spoke of Shiva. Where am I going? Yeah. Oh. There we go. Ah, you've returned. What news have you for us? Well, you see, we found out this. It seems the Lady Iceheart does not scruple to sully her hands with blood. Who is this Shiva the heretics spoke of? Have you not read a single line of the Enchiridion, Master Alphino? Shiva was a traitor to kith and kin, an apostate who lay down with dragons. Now, we cannot expect all foreigners to know Ishgardian scripture so well, particularly when it concerns the patron saints of heretics. Wait, you said she is their patron saint? Oh no, it all makes sense now. Lord Horshaphant, what was the caravan's cargo? Ah, if I recall correctly, the Diamond Forge had requested a rather large quantity of crystals. Do you not see? Iceheart and her followers intend to summon Shiva, as a beast tribe would a primal. Why else would they go to such lengths to secure crystals? I shall inform the Lord Commander at once. Lord Horshaphant, you would agree that discretion is of paramount concern? Of course. I trust we can count on your continued support, Master Alphino. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn are sworn to combat the primal threat. Our support is a given. I will need to send word to my brethren in Revenant's Toll. Our entire order must turn its efforts to the prevention of this summoning. Naturally, that includes you, though I'm sure you would not miss this for the world. And let's see, don't need those, but let's see what they look like anyways. Oh, those could be an interesting fashion item for an outfit. We'll keep that. The persistent attacks on our caravans seemed little more than a nuisance at first. The heretics were a problem, to be sure, but a relatively minor one. That was before I discerned the purpose behind their attacks, of course. Now they have my undivided attention. After apprising Minfilia of the situation, I shall summon a unit of Crystal Braves to assist us. As for you, Anne, pray join me in Whitebrim Front. Since the incident at Snowcloak, the Knights of House Durandare have redoubled their reconnaissance efforts in the region. It is my hope that they have information which may help us to determine precisely where the heretics are hiding. Given our mutual enemy, Lord Drillamont should be eager to oblige us. I shall see you there then? Good. Alright, back to good old Drillamont. Flying, flying, flying. I'm so glad they added flying to all the starter zones here for ARR. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn wish to join the hunt for Iceheart. Your assistance is more than welcome, my friends. Considering the report I just received, I dare say your timing could be no better. We are all ears, Lord Drillamont. A band of pilgrims was seen transporting a large number of crates to the west. Their garb appears to match the description provided by the squire who survived the attack. Alas, our scouts lost track of them at Snowcloak, that self-same frozen wall which we speculated might conceal the heretics' hideaway. Suffice it to say, the disappearance of these pilgrims and their provisions all but confirms our suspicions. I have heard enough. My knights will join the hunt. I took the liberty of summoning a unit of Crystal Braves to Whitebrim Front. Given the gravity of the situation, I trust you will agree that we must use every resource available to us. These are extraordinary circumstances, Commander. It would be in our best interests to coordinate our efforts. Such was my intent from the start, Sir Aymeric. And so it begins, my friend. Though I dare say it will prove an all too brief collaboration, Iceheart will not elude the combined forces of the Crystal Braves and the Temple Knights for long. Nevertheless, a wise man does not wager all upon the success of a single solution. There may yet be subtler ways by which we can locate the heretic's lair. Mayhap Lord Drillamont has one in mind. Yes, yes, excellent. My lady, everything has been accounted for. If there is aught else you would have us do, pray speak, and it shall be done. It seems as though we are always one step behind, our quarry ever just beyond our reach. Though I would like to believe that the tables are about to turn, I must confess to having certain doubts. A joint effort may succeed where others have failed, but it could yet yield the self-same result. Fortunately, we are not without other options. I trust you haven't forgotten Inquisitor Guillaume? We have not. The mystery of how the heretics remained undiscovered for so long has been much in our thoughts, as has the question of what steps might be taken to prevent a similar breach of security in the future. Accordingly, we conducted an exhaustive and covert evaluation of everyone in Whitebrim Front. Though some were found to have committed certain minor transgressions, we identified only one possible heretic. If this man has pledged himself to Iceheart's cause, he will have taken note of the movements of the Temple Knights and the Crystal Braves, and upon recognizing their intent, he may attempt to warn the heretics. The man's watch is to end soon, at which point he must report to Sir Jean-Charmant in the yard. I would have you keep an eye on him. If he ventures beyond the walls, follow him discreetly. Should he meet with a heretic, do not interfere, simply watch and listen. I have seen to it that the suspect knows nothing which could endanger our plans. All right. Well, we will go check him out in just a moment. All right. The suspected heretic leaves through the southwest gate. The suspected heretic follows the road east. Suspected heretic heads south. Hey! Where in the seven hells are you? I'm freezing my bollocks off here. I'm here, you blundering oaf. Why are you late? Standing on the wall, why else? I have duties to fulfill, you know. Your sole duty is to the... Bloody echo, lower your voice or they'll hear us in Whitebrim Front. Yes, of course. The Temple Knights are in Snowcloak. This is what you bring to me? We already knew about her. Our comrades in Boulder Downs will use the tunnels dead before they know what's happening. Nevertheless, if you waste my time again, is that clear? Well, did your investigation bear fruit? I see. I shall have the man detained at once. His guilt is plain. Ah, would that you could have heard their words more clearly. Yet, the few snatches you were able to make out are nonetheless enlightening. It would seem the heretics are aware of our operation and confident that they can thwart it. Their comrades in Boulder Downs are key to their plans, which means it is key to our plans that they be rooted out and put to the sword. I don't know. I'll keep them anyways. We have long suspected that the heretics use a network of secret tunnels to traverse the highlands undetected. Given what you overheard, I fear that Snowcloak may be riddled with such passageways, and that the heretics in Boulder Downs are planning to use them to take our forces unawares. Needless to say, we cannot allow that to happen. A contingent of House Durandare Knights are on patrol in the area, and I shall order them to begin searching for the heretics at once. But knowing nothing of our enemy's numbers or readiness, I cannot say for sure that they will be sufficient. It would put my mind at ease if you would consent to assist my knights with the search. I know they will take courage from the presence of so storied a warrior. Pray, rendezvous with them at Boulder Downs. If Halone is kind, we may catch these heretics before their plans come to fruition. Show them no mercy, Anne. The lives of our allies are at stake. How high can you go? There we go. Hit the ceiling. Oh, okay. Looks like a fight brewing. Go ahead and call out the chocobo here. My chocobo ranked up. Ooh. Chocobo. Continue you on the path to Healer Chocobo. Yeah, I got Choco Cure now. That'll be handy. Alright, back to Drillamon. My knights sent no word of your coming, Anne. What has happened? What is that in your hand? A brittle parchment. By the Fury, those were veterans with years of service. And now they lie dead in the snow. Their bodies must be recovered, and... No, we have not the men to spare, not now. Not while Iceheart prepares to summon an abomination. The heretics you dispatched were not of significant number to contend with the combined strength of the Temple Knights and the Crystal Braves. There must be others, and I'll wager they are on their way to Snowcloak as we speak. To make matters worse, it seems the traitor you followed managed to pass the heretics something of value after all. The parchment you recovered is a timetable of the guardsmen's watches at our outpost in Snowcloak. The traitor was stationed there long before he aroused our suspicions. Would that we had caught him sooner. With this information, the heretics would know when the watch was weakest. They could use their tunnels with impunity and prepare their ambush. The timetable has not changed, you see. Of course, it will be changed now, but the heretics may already be in position. House Durandare must send reinforcements, even if it means withdrawing knights from the Stone Vigil. I can see no other way to safeguard the lives of our allies. Time is of the essence, Anne. While my knights make ready to depart, the heretics may take our allies in Snowcloak unawares. Superior training and equipment will avail them naught if they are cut down ere their swords are drawn, but all is not yet lost. If you leave now, there may still be time to warn them. Make haste, I beseech you. Fly to Snowcloak and tell Sir Amaric everything we have discovered. And if you're just joining us for the stream today, I appreciate it. Welcome. How are you doing today? We're doing a unskipped playthrough of the Final Fantasy XIV game. We're currently in the Post-Realm Reborn expansion. Heading over to Snowcloak. If you'd like to drop a comment down in the chat, please feel free to do so. Of course, if you just rather lurk and enjoy the atmosphere in the game with us, that's of course good as well. We're just happy to have you here regardless. And this is a welcome surprise, perhaps the only one thus far. As you can see, we have yet to uncover any hidden... You have my gratitude. Truth be told, we suspected the heretics may be plotting such an attack. Now that we have confirmation, I shall place my knights on high alert. Has Commander Levelure been informed? The Braves must be made aware. Poor Alphino, he's been here so many times and still fails to wear warm clothing. It must be here. I am certain of it. Why else would they go to such lengths to defend Snowcloak? 'Tis but a pity this discovery comes when our enemy has us at such a disadvantage. Forewarned though we be, the heretics know the terrain far better than we. I dare not think how many are watching us at this very moment. Confound it, this is all wrong. Iceheart has us scrambling to save our own skins when we should rightly be straining every sinew to find her and stop this damnable summoning. There she is! Come here, girl. All right, Ida. That was close. They didn't hurt you, did they? Only my pride, Ida. There will be others nearby. We must see that they are given a similarly warm welcome. Commander Levalier. There's been a development, sir. Together with the Temple Knights, we have secured the entrances to some half-dozen tunnels after spotting the enemy breaking the surface. But that is not all, sir. We think that one of them may be important. Certainly the heretics near flung themselves upon our swords to defend it. Aha! Just as I suspected. Amongst this warren of tunnels lies the entrance to Iceheart's lair. Summon the others. We're going in. A moment, Alphino. The tunnel in question is barely wide enough for 2 men abreast. We cannot say with any certainty where it leads, much less what is waiting for us there. Furthermore, we have no way of knowing how many heretics are still lurking here on the surface. What if they were to converge on this point after we entered the tunnel? For all we know, we could be funneling our forces into a trap. I take your point. If the tunnel is indeed as narrow as you say, greater numbers would be more a hindrance than a help. Should we encounter difficulty, our own allies would become an obstacle to escape. A change of plans. While we rendezvous with Sir Emmerich and keep the heretics at bay here, you will go wherever that tunnel leads. If you find Iceheart at the end of it, do not let her escape. You venture into the unknown, so see that you are prepared for anything. I suggest you call upon your allies, though not too many, or Papaimo will sulk. Okay. The entrance to the tunnel, madam? It's just over here. Had we not seen the heretics breaking the surface, we would never have noticed it. Per Sir Emmerich's orders, we will stand guard outside. Please be aware that even should you encounter significant resistance, we cannot leave our post. Alright, Snowcloak. And we'll use duty support for this one, just so we can get right to it. And they're still using non-advanced jobs. Marauder, Conjurer, and Thaumaturge. Alright, well, let's get to it. What do you think of the duty support system? I kind of find it nice, you know, because you can just dive right into the dungeon without waiting on a queue. Shit. Make sure I'm making use of my Verse Stone for Fire too. Alright. Still trying to figure out Red Mage here. Got the basics down, I guess. Of course, I certainly welcome any tips and tricks you've got on doing this too. Sometimes this old brain doesn't comprehend some things that may be obvious to others, of course. Stick a fork in him. He's done. Antique solarettes. Okay. Other good thing about the duty support too is you get all the chests for yourself in there. You know, if there's something cool that you might like to get for a fashion item or any other purpose, just run the duty support version and do it as much as you like till you get what you want. That one sure has changed a bit, hasn't it? Antique helm and hero's bracelet of slaying. Okay. You remember when we used to get experience for actually killing things inside the dungeon too. Used to be a decent way to get experience there, but now it's just for each boss, it looks like. Bum, 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 bum. Whoops. Why was I not fast enough there, I wonder? Okay, the non-glowing one. Whoops. Yeah, you gotta move like, you gotta watch what he's casting, I guess. Oh well. Just a little slow on the movement there. Watch it for the next one here. You are about down, buddy. Here we go. Yay! Yay! Alright. And antique breeches.
The tales do not do you justice, warrior of light. Yes, I know who you are, and you know who I am. I was given the name Izel, but I earned the name Iceheart. This endless cycle of hatred, of bloodshed, of sorrow. You would see it continue, O noble warrior of light. I would not. I will not. I will bring an end to this war between dragon and man, no matter the cost. In time, you will come to understand that what we do for the greater good. For Eorzea, for Hydaelyn.
Huh. That took longer than I expected. What news, Anne? Well, you see, I had to talk to Iceheart for a little bit. So Iceheart is but a pseudonym. Not that it matters. That she managed to escape is regrettable, but from your description of that beast, you did well to come as close as you did. In any case, now that you have cleared a path, the Temple Knights can begin to survey the tunnels in earnest. Mayhap they will even find a route past the ice wall. Wouldn't that do wonders for their fight against the heretics? The Crystal Braves would certainly share the credit for it too. 12 be praised, Anne. We may yet turn this situation to our advantage. Assuming we stop Iceheart before she summons Shiva, of course. Needless to say, our fellow Scions have not been idle. Minfilia and Urianger have been busy perusing the archives of House Fortam, gathering what information they can on Shiva. Which reminds me, if you are intending to trudge back to Camp Dragonhead to report on the day's events, don't. The antecedent should be here any minute. I can only assume some people enjoy subjecting themselves to this cold. Well, if you'd put on warmer clothes, little buddy, that might help the situation a bit. Antecedent. You come to us straight from the archives of House Fortam. I trust your time there proved fruitful. Would that it had. Urianger and I scoured countless texts, but what we found was of questionable veracity. Accounts of Shiva's life and deeds are sparse and contradictory, only agreeing upon one point. She lay down with a dragon, the gravest of all sins according to the Ishgardian faith. Yet in the eyes of Iceheart's followers, this was a holy act, the blessed union of man and dragon. How such a thing could even be possible is quite another question. Suffice it to say, I very much doubt that we will find a useful answer in the archives of House Fortam. Much knowledge has been lost over the centuries, though in this case one wonders if it is by circumstance or by design. You said that Iceheart took a moment to plead her case prior to escaping, did you not? Yeah, she said this. Viewed without prejudice, most would agree that bringing an end to an endless war serves the greater good. I think Sir Emmerich might take issue with her methods. I do not care if a few stragglers manage to escape. Until the sappers confirm that a tunnel is safe, the men are not to search it. Yes, Lord Commander. You pursue your foes with less zeal than I had expected, Sir Amaric. Lest you misunderstand, I do not deny that our enemy has given us good reason to be prudent. I merely meant, you being a man of faith, that I had expected a certain single-mindedness. After all, was it not by the will of Helone that your ancestors came to this land, why they took up arms against the Dravanians? What would they have done in your position, I wonder? There are those who believe that faith is a renunciation of free will, that unquestioning devotion is required of all who would live a life in service to the Fury. Such righteous fervor may well serve a knight on the front line, less so a leader of men. We are all at liberty to interpret the scriptures as we will. I choose to believe that the Fury would value the lives of her followers over the deaths of her enemies. But I would not presume to speak for the Knights of Eld. 'Twas a different time, nay, a different era. The scripture tells us only so much. Would that it told us more. That man is awfully pragmatic for a servant of the Holy See. A welcome trait at the negotiating table, to be sure, less so when one's enemies are making ready to harness the power of a god. Mayhap he does not truly believe that Iceheart's plan can succeed. Truth be told, I too remain somewhat skeptical. Shiva was real, a living, breathing woman. Of that there can be no doubt. In this respect, she differs from every other figure to have been summoned, each of whom was worshipped as a god. The sole exception being good King Mogulmog XII, the myth made manifest in response to the fervent supplications of the Mogul's Guard. Saint Shiva may differ, but what of the heretics? They are a tribe of outcasts at war with a mighty nation, who yearn for the resurrection of the one whom embodies their beliefs. If that is not placing one's faith in a higher power, then what is? Crystals and conviction, Minfilia. They have them both in abundance. Can that truly be all that is required? My survey team has concluded a preliminary analysis of the aetherite Iceheart used to escape. They believe that she teleported to another aetherite somewhere not far to the west. Despite the apparent proximity of this second aetherite, however, they have been wholly unable to detect its presence directly. Unless Iceheart has some means to mask its signal, I can only presume she had it destroyed to prevent us from following her. Without the means to teleport as she did, we have no choice but to search for an alternate route, most likely a tunnel, assuming one exists. Let us not give up on teleportation just yet. One of our colleagues in Sharlayan may be able to assist us. I pray that you are right. I dare not think how long it will take us to survey the entire tunnel system. While Minfilia looks into our aetherite problem, I would like to request your assistance with another matter. The third unit is currently tracking the remnants of the heretic force which attacked us. However, the search goes poorly despite our numbers. Kurthus is vast, and Iceheart's followers know the terrain far better than we. Your knowledge of this region may serve to hasten the process. The sooner we capture Iceheart's followers, the sooner we can press them for their leader's whereabouts. Also, though it is admittedly a selfish request, I feel that my braves would benefit immensely from working alongside you. While we have our share of veterans, we also have more than a few less experienced recruits, many of whom look up to you in case you were not aware. Good, I knew you would understand. Yu Hasi can apprise you of the details. When the task is complete, come and find me at the observatorium. Captain Ilbert and I are meeting there to discuss the latest developments in his investigation. The Temple Knights shall hold Snowcloak in our absence. Let us leave them to their work. Ours is more pressing. There you are, Anne. Commander Levelier instructed me to wait for you. Your assistance is most welcome, believe me. Most of the Third hail from Ul'dah, and for a man accustomed to the feel of sand beneath his boots, the crunch of snow can be rather disconcerting. But to the matter at hand. Nary a moment ago, I received word that the heretics we seek have been spotted making for Danafin Pass. My braves are already in pursuit, and I should be grateful if you would join them. I myself shall be taking part in the hunt. Never let it be said that I do not earn my coin. Because coin is what is most important to you, little buddy, isn't it? And if you're just joining us, welcome. We're happy to have you here. How are you doing today? The morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. If you would like to drop a note down in the chat, have anything you'd like to say, by all means, please do. We're here to chat and talk with you. If you have anything on your mind, by all means, drop it there. Of course, if you just rather lurk and enjoy the atmosphere, by all means, we're happy to have you here just doing that as well. Falls balls, my ankle is on fire. Caught my boot on a rock or something and twisted it as I fell. The others went on ahead through Danafin Pass. Hurry and you might catch up. If you aren't sure where to go, look for tracks. This snow is fresh, so they shouldn't be hard to find. The tracks lead southeast. Scion, what are you doing here? The heretics? I'm not sure. There was a great scaled beast and Hasi, I think he went east on his own. The heretics split up, so we did too. How embarrassing. I was so intent on following the heretics' tracks that I almost failed to notice they had doubled back. Almost, mind you. One tried to sneak up behind me and got a knife in the gut for his troubles. I thought myself alone, so I started searching the dead man's knapsack for anything of interest, and lo and behold, before his friends found me, I came upon this. Withdraw in groups of 3 or less to the observatorium. Give the signal and wait. The merchant will be watching. Be late and be left for dead. Speaks for itself, does it not? They can't possibly mean to rendezvous inside the place, so we should restrict our search to the surrounding areas. Let me rephrase that. You should restrict your search to the wilderness around the observatorium. I will need more than a moment's rest to recover from these wounds. Hello, suspicious Kurthan. I am through with listening to your excuses. We leave now. How? The woods are crawling with those blue coats, and the knights are searching every wagon that passes through the gates. Well, stay with her then if you think you'll fare any better. Now, there's no need for that. There are places like this in my homeland, sacred snow-capped peaks where blood must not be shed. Yet your lands ever thirst for the blood of the fallen, and by your deeds it has drunk deep. No, I have done no wrong. None but meet in secret with heretics. Deny it all you will. We shall have the truth from you yet. Inquisitors are not the only ones skilled in the art of interrogation. Damn it all. He's seen better days. Fancy meeting you here, Anne. I presume your work with the Third brought you hither? What a tangled web. Lest you wonder, we came not for the heretics, but for the merchant who has been conspiring with them. He came to our attention during the course of our investigation into the Ivy. It beggars belief, I know, but it seems our favorite Garlean spy may have been providing assistance to Iceheart. Were it not for the efforts of Lady Ugiri and her shinobi, we might never have discovered this connection. Master Alfino is too kind. I fear my people and I have done little to aid your search for this spy. We long to strike back against the Empire and weaken their influence in this land to prevent the tragedy which befell Doma from reoccurring. The days ahead and the work they promise will require a very particular set of skills which I am fortunate enough to possess. If you will allow it, I would accompany you until the investigation is complete. That is a most generous offer, Lady Ugiri, and one which I gladly accept. Thank you. Though I may disappear for a time, know that I shall never be far, and shall always be watching. A comforting thought. Come, Anne, let us wait inside for Captain Ilbert to return and deliver his report. Oops, sorry about that. Captain Ilbert seems confident that the merchant's resolve would swiftly crumble when pressed. If so, we should have new information ere long. As to whether it will bring us any closer to learning the Ivy's identity, I would rather not say. Given our adversary's cunning, I shall consider us fortunate if we are spared another wild dodo chase. The gods know we have more than enough to occupy our time as it is. And I can't believe I started Red Mage at level 50 after we finished the main part of A Realm Reborn, just the expansion content. Just going through the additional dungeons and raids and stuff. Now we're up to 57. We'll be level 60 by the time we start Heavensward, it seems like, almost. But maybe not. Certainly be level 60 early on into Heavensward at this rate, though. Tendrils of Intrigue. Captain Ilberd, your report, if you will. Aye, Commander. Firstly, with regard to the heretic we captured, I regret to say that the man could tell us naught that we did not already know of Shiva. We have since handed him over to the Ishgardian authorities. Henceforth, the Holy See will pursue the matter independently. Our inquiries concerning the Ivy, however, have proven more fruitful. We have ascertained the channel by which the heretics acquired their information on the shipment routes. Go on. You will recall the flame we first identified as being in the Ivy's employ. From him we were able to trace a trail of conspirators, each taking us closer to his master. Alas, the trail came to an abrupt end. Fearing that the investigation had been compromised, we took the necessary step of detaining all suspected of conspiracy. There were 5 on our list, including a flame stationed at Revenant's Toll. The man's primary duty was to keep an inventory of donations from abroad, the particulars of which he would share with benefactors, thereby ensuring that needs did not go unfulfilled. By virtue of his role, he was privy to the details of all shipments bound for the settlement. Needless to say, that included those originating from House Fortam. He knew the precise route the caravan would take, and he sold that information to a merchant. I think I can guess which one. None other. With a little encouragement, he soon confessed to knowingly aiding and abetting the heretics. Well, that is one mystery solved at least, but what of the Ivy? Are we any closer to prizing off his mask? I dare say we are, Commander. Our relentless pursuit has forced him to commit a grave error. In a desperate bid to cover his tracks, the Ivy resorted to exercising certain administrative powers available only to high-ranking members of the Immortal Flames. If you consider, then, that our investigation is known to barely a handful of them, the field of suspects is greatly narrowed. You mean to say that the agent is among Ralban's innermost circle? Someone who has been with him since the Immortal Flames establishment? 'Tis the most plausible explanation. The infiltration likely occurred during the company's founding, with the groundwork for the act being laid beforehand. To slip into a position of authority unremarked and remain above suspicion all these years. I too was surprised, though I really should not have been. Of the 3 grand companies, Uldaz was ever the more vulnerable to infiltration. Both Limsa Lominsa and Gridania had long-standing armed forces that lent themselves well to the formation of the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder. To all intents and purposes, it was the same people, loyal ones mind, under the same leadership, only the banner was different. Not so the Flames. Uldaz's military was made up of disparate orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies that answered only to their own paymasters. Hardly an ideal environment in which to establish something as high-minded as a grand company. The difficulties Ralban faced when founding the Immortal Flames are well known. Even after he had convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the cost, there remained the small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks. Indeed, and given the pressing nature of the Imperial threat, that meant recruiting every passing sellsword. Amidst the chaos of its founding, it would have been child's play to infiltrate the company. A good deal easier then than now, aye. The Immortal Flames have ever been caught between conflicting interests, the public and the private. Though the monetarists ultimately agreed to support the organization's founding, it was not out of charity that they did so, but simple self-preservation. Had Nael van Darnus' ambitions been any less apocalyptic, you may be sure that they would never have risked supplying Ralban with an army. 'Tis but a wonder they did not attempt to extinguish the flames the moment the danger had passed. Returning to the present, even as we speak, our Doman allies are shadowing several high-ranking flames, any one of whom could be the Ivy. Desiring to deal a blow against the Empire, the refugees were eager to lend us their aid. I expect to hear from them ere long. Very good. Pray continue your investigation with the first. Meanwhile, have the second attend to the unrest. The third can join the fourth in inspecting crystal shipments. If they notice anything unusual, I want to know about it. If Shiva is summoned in like manner to the other primals, the heretics will be looking for further supplies. Understood, Commander. I shall send word to Sir Amaric informing him of our success in identifying the heretics' abettors. Hopefully, the information will be of some use to the Ishgardians. It is time, Commander. Yes, I am aware. An emergency council of the Alliance leadership has been called. There have been developments in Garlemald, it would seem. As commander of the Crystal Braves, my presence has been requested. I would have you accompany me, Anne. As the realm's stoutest champion, 'tis only meet that you be present for this discussion. Oh, and the antecedent has already given her consent, lest you worry. Yay, meetings. Like me, you are doubtless eager to conclude our business with Iceheart, but until another path to her sanctum is found, she will remain beyond our reach. Minfilia and the Archons are sparing no effort to secure an alternate route. Until such time as they succeed, I suggest we give some thought to the realm's other problems. I shall go on ahead to Gridania in readiness for the coming council. Meet me at Nofika's altar, and we shall make our way to the Lotus Stand together. Off to Gridania. Drop some more messages here. Just curious what folks might think about the duty support system. What are the pros and cons involved there? If you care to comment, that is. We certainly appreciate it if you do. Alright, to Nofika's altar. Hey, Alfie. My thanks for coming, Anne. When you are ready, speak with the conjurer yonder. She will show us to the Lotus Stand. The Alliance leaders await you at the Lotus Stand. Will you be joining them now? Yes, I will.
Change has come to the Garlean Empire, and we must discuss the implications.
The rumors are true, then? The War of Succession is ended?
It is. A new emperor reigns in Garlemald.
Who?
The birth and all too rapid expansion of the Garlean Empire is commonly attributed to the strategic brilliance of Solus Zosgalvis, yet he did not rule alone. Several members of the royal household also distinguished themselves during his reign. Nevertheless, it was the eldest son who stood to inherit the throne, until his most untimely passing.
I thought us fortunate when I learned that the Emperor had died without naming a successor.
Would that the Garlean Empire had died with him.
'Twas the grandson and his uncle who had the strongest claims, was it not?
Indeed, yet claims count for little without the power to assert them. High Legatus Varus Ye Galvus is a respected military leader. Not so his uncle.
So young Varus has torn the crown from his uncle's grasp and taken his place at the head of the Empire.
Given the troubled nature of his succession, the new emperor will require time to seal his grip on power. Yet have no doubt but that he shall, for there are none left with strength enough to oppose him.
Since the success of Operation Archon, the remnants of the 14th Legion and the forces occupying Alamigo have done naught but fortify their positions. But you can be sure they'll be ready to march on us again, if their Emperor gives the word.
When, not if. They say this Varus was so set upon Eorzean annexation that he spoke out against the Meteor Project.
Plainly, the new emperor's intentions are of great concern to us all. I propose that we set aside the Cartno dispute for the present, and discuss what measures the Alliance might take to prepare for a resumption of hostilities with Garlemald. Moreover, I move that we re-examine the question of how our former allies in Ishgard might be persuaded to retake their place at our side. Could Eorzea but stand as one, 'twould deal a grave blow to our enemies' ambitions.
Well, I suppose we should be grateful that they have finally acknowledged the inevitability of Imperial attack. Who knows? They may even do something about it. If only the leaders of Ishgard would follow their example and stop hiding behind their gates, praying for the coming storm to pass them by. But that is a discussion for another time. At present, I am more concerned by the fact that the Alliance's mooted preparations will be made known to the Garleans many moons before their coming. So long as the Ivy eludes our grasp, no secret is safe.
It will not have escaped your notice that the nations of Eorzea are no nearer to being of one purpose despite their protestations to the contrary. Plainly, the threat of a resurgent Garlemald is not enough to stir them. And the reason for this? Deep-rooted mistrust amongst the citizenry. The nation's leaders can come to all the understandings they like, but their unity means little and less to the common folk. Take the Laminsons, for instance. Though Admiral Merlwyb outlawed piracy over a decade ago, foreigners still picture the nation as a haven for grog-swilling, wooden-legged cutthroats. In likewise, the Gridanians are mocked as hermits who talk to trees, and the Uldans scorned as swindlers who worship coin. Not that such sentiments are entirely without grounds, of course. Take that pillar of Uldan society, Teleji Adeleji, for example. But that is beside the point. The fact is that people are wary of outsiders whether they have cause to be or not. On that basis, one could argue that the conflict at Cartano is a necessary evil. Each nation has its own warmongering faction that advocates the acquisition of Omega. In order to placate them, we present them something resembling warfare and thereby curb their appetite for full-scale conflict. But enough idle musing. Let us speak of a more pressing matter, the Ivy. Since we spoke at the observatorium, Captain Ilbert has further shortened his list of suspects, and by happy coincidence, the one he deems the most likely candidate is lately come to Gridania. The hunt nears its end, Anne. All that remains is to corner our quarry. Seek out Ilbert near the Adder's Nest. He will give you the particulars. Should there be any developments in Kurthus, you may be sure that I will send word without delay. In the meantime, I wish you success in apprehending the Ivy. Yo, Ilbert. My thanks for coming, Scion. Doubtless the commander has informed you, but we have unmasked the Ivy. From this point on, we must proceed with extreme caution. Listen well, the spy we have been seeking all this time is none other than Flame Marshal Eline Royale, Ralban's second in command. Prior to joining the Immortal Flames, she was a mercenary of no small renown. They say her skill with a polearm had to be seen to be believed. Of Ishgardian birth, she is the highest-ranked foreigner in the Immortal Flames, barring the Flame General himself, of course. When he formed the Grand Company, Ralban chose people based on their worth. Whence they hailed was of no interest. The monetarists saw things differently, however. Having funded the enterprise, they reserved the right to reject candidates nominated for high-ranking positions. And 'twas no secret that they did not favor foreigners, Ishgardians especially, after the way the Holy See forsook the alliance. Yet the monetarists did not raise so much as a murmur of protest when Royale was appointed to her post. Passing strange, is it not? Could it be that the Ivy has some hold over the monetarists? But these revelations are secondary to our current mission. Of foremost interest to us is Royale's presence here and now. As you may be aware, it is the duty of the Flame Marshal to command the Immortal Flames in the absence of the Flame General. While Ralban attended the Council of Alliance Leaders, she should have remained in the Hall of Flames. The woman has no business being in Gridania, yet here she is nonetheless, on some pretense. She is up to something, mark my words. Even as we speak, I have a dozen men trawling the Flames records for evidence of Royale's guilt. But if we can catch her red-handed, we shall have all the proof we need. Which brings me to the plan. I have people watching the city gates, the airship landing, and the docks, every point of egress. She cannot leave without our knowledge. All that remains is to shadow her until she betrays her true purpose. Can I rely upon your eyes, Scion? Yes. You have my thanks. Let us go then, and take care not to alert our quarry. Royale is headed in the direction of the Blue Badger Gate. With me, Scion. So, Royale has entered the Carline canopy. Meeting someone, perchance? Or could it be she means to board an airship? Pray, look for her within. If she is not on the upper floor, try the landing area below. One of mine is stationed there, and she may have seen something. Ephemi is her name. I shall remain here in case Royale appears. An adventurer. Such an unexpected pleasure. What brings you here? A social visit, you say? How pleasant. No, she didn't come this way. I've noted every passenger, and none bore any resemblance. Well, don't let me keep you. Nowhere to be seen, you say? And you are sure she did not board an airship? Huh. She did not come back out either. Where in the seven hells could she have gone? The Roost. How could I forget? Greetings, good sir. Might I interest you in some Muntui tonic? A cup a day imbues a man with great vigor, if you take my meaning. Perhaps another time, friend. Wait, that necklace. You are a shinobi of Doma. The woman you seek has left Gridania by way of West Shore Pier. She was attired as a merchant, but these eyes are not so easily deceived. You may wish to take your search to the East Shroud. Rest assured that we shall continue to support you from the shadows. Thank the 12 for the Domans. Were it not for their unique talents, Royale would have disappeared without a trace. Yeah, that looks kind of interesting. I guess we'll keep that one too. Our hunt leads us to the East Shroud, Scion. I suggest we follow Royale's example and take the ferry from West Shore Pier. You'll doubtless wish to make certain preparations. See to them while I go on ahead. I shall wait for you at Sweet Bloom Pier. All right, well, I will make my way to Sweet Bloom Pier then. This way, my friends. Your quarry makes for the Hawthorne hut. If Royale is truly the one we seek, we can expect that she means to make contact with her Garlean masters there. An explanation is in order. You are no doubt aware that the Garleans have their own method of communicating over great distances. Well, our ingenious friends at Garland Ironworks have provided us with devices which disrupt these communications, and we have installed them around the city-states. In so doing, we have made it difficult for Imperial agents to correspond with their masters. Royale would thus have no choice but to rendezvous with her Imperial contact directly. Yet, as a well-known face in the Immortal Flame, she cannot move about Thanalin without being recognized. It would only be a matter of time before someone saw through her disguise. 'Tis for this reason, I believe, that she has chosen the Black Shroud for her clandestine meeting. The Elizin are a common sight here, and her comings and goings are not like to turn any heads. As my scouts tell it, the Garleans have sent agents with a mind to destroy the devices and render such direct contact unnecessary. Fortunately, our shinobi have thus far been successful in rebuffing their efforts. This is it. We need only make for Hawthorne's hut and catch Royale in the act. My people report that our quarry has departed for the Bramble Patch. The ivy returns to the gnarls whence she came, but perhaps it is all for the better. To convict someone of her standing, we will require damning evidence against her. What could be better than to catch her in the act when she meets with her Garlean masters? My countrymen and I shall lie in wait in the shadows. Tread warily, my friends. Just beyond, Royale is in conversation with an individual clad in the manner of an adventurer, an Imperial intermediary, no doubt. This is it, with me! Flame Marshal Aline Royale, you are under arrest for treason and espionage. You were followed, you bloody fool! Damnation! Huh. You are unarmed, my lady, and scarcely garbed for battle, but if you wish to fight, you are welcome to try. What is the meaning of this, Captain? Would you arrest me for strolling in the Twelveswood? When last I looked, that was no crime, and neither was conversing with passing strangers. You would feign ignorance, then. Very well. If you do not think of something to say, there will be plenty of time to say it later. Now, come quietly, or I shall make you wish you had. I will offer you no struggle. After all, I have naught to hide. Even a warrior of Royale's renown could not have hoped to escape by force. Despite her claims, her surrender does not bespeak innocence, but an awareness that her position is untenable. With the ivy thus uprooted, it is to be hoped that the tendrils she entwined around the immortal flames will gradually wither and die. Mayhap then the people of Ul'dah will have the grand company they deserve. But let us speak of the present. If I may ask, what will you do now, Anne? So, the Scions seek a way into Iceheart's sanctum. Then I dare say you are eager to return to the Rising Stones. Pray, do not let me keep you. Fear not, my countrymen and I shall tend to the aftermath. You need not waste your talents here. And speaking of talents, have you considered training in the art of the shinobi? You have the aptitude for it, I believe, so please give it some thought. Till next time, my friend. Speak with Minfilia. All right. Now, little by little, we're getting through this expansion content for A Realm Reborn. Welcome back, Anne. I understand that Alphino had a task for you. May I ask what it was? Charges of treason and espionage against Aline Royale? I can scarce believe it. Could there not have been some manner of misunderstanding? No, it avails us not to dwell on it. Whatever the truth may be, we must trust to the authorities to uncover it. Let us speak of another matter. I am pleased to report that we have made progress in our efforts to find a way into Iceheart's sanctum. As you may recall, Iceheart used the aetheryte in the depths of Snowcloak to teleport a short distance to the west, most likely to a sanctuary of some description. It is there that we suspect she means to summon Shiva using the crystals she stole from the House Fortom caravan. The heretics believe that they are bringing about the second coming of their patron saint, but if, as we suspect, they mean to hold a summoning ritual of the kind employed by the beast tribes, it seems likely that the result will be something more akin to a primal. Suffice it to say, they must be stopped, and stop them we shall, but first we must surmount the obstacle that Iceheart has placed in our path. Ordinarily, it would be a simple matter to tap into the established Ethernet and thereby follow our quarrier. However, despite our best efforts, we have been unable to ascertain the position of the aetheryte to which she teleported. Our prevailing theory is that she destroyed the second aetheryte upon arrival, a reckless, desperate measure, but also an effective one. After discussing the matter at length with Urianger, we have concluded that we lack the expertise to develop a solution. Which is why we have called upon the aid of one who does possess such expertise, a colleague of ours who is currently en route to Revenant's Toll from Sharlayan. She should be arriving within the hour, in fact. Since you are here, mayhap we could welcome her together. I am certain she would appreciate the gesture. Let us make our way to the northern gates and await her coming. Sounds good. I like that plan.
Minfilia, am I right?
None other. I bid you welcome to Revenant's Toll, and thank you for traveling so far on such short notice.
As if I could ever say no to Urianger.
Moonbreeder is an accomplished Sharlayan scholar and an authority on Aetheryte technologies. She has played an invaluable role in our search for a means to capture Ascian souls.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Let us return to the Rising Stones at once, then. We have much to discuss.
It's been ages!
Oh, longer, sister!
A joyous reunion indeed.
Well, of course it is. Moon and I are like twin sisters.
Save in appearance and aptitude.
Everyone, if I could have your attention. We have with us an esteemed guest who has come from Sharlayan to assist us. I bid Moonbreeder join us here that she might share with us her extensive knowledge of Aetherites. Also, as many of you are already aware, she has been overseeing our research into white auracite, a sample of which she has been good enough to bring with her.
Well, I had to come, didn't I? You'd have to be bloody daft to turn your nose up at a chance like this. Where better to conduct my final tests than a land so steeped in ether you can taste it?
'Tis plain the passage of the years hath done little to dampen thy youthful spirits. And nothing at all to reform thy youthful manner.
Urianger, where in the hells have you been hiding?
Unhand me.
I come all this way, and that's what you have to say to me. I much preferred when you were pleading with me to drop everything and hurry to your side. What was it you said? None save thee can satisfy this need.
Oh.
Go on. Thine artless attempts to misrepresent mine all too innocent motives do thee little credit. Mine intent, as well thou knowest, was but to impress upon thee the gravity of the circumstance. Lest thou doubt, a deiform entity shall shortly be summoned, save if thou and no other grantest my compeers thine aid.
You still haven't found it, then? Your missing Aetherite?
We have not. No. We know that Iceheart teleported to an Aetherite not far from the first. Yet even after careful analysis, we could not locate a second beacon. We now suspect that the heretics destroyed the second Aetherite to impede our pursuit. Our allies continue to scour Snowcloak for Iceheart's sanctuary, but we have no guarantee that they will find it. Yet it must be found, for even now Iceheart prepares to call upon Saint Shiva.
I'm sorry, but if the Aetherite's been destroyed, then that's that. Although, you're absolutely sure she used the first Aetherite, are you? She didn't just use teleportation magics?
One of our own bore witness to her escape. I can say with absolute certainty that Iceheart used the Aetherite.
In that case, there might be a way, so long as the ethereal current is still flowing.
Truly? How?
We use the current to recreate the beacon. As you know, Aetherites are a bit like lighthouses. We use them to reconstitute our physical forms when crossing the ethereal sea. Without them, we'd lose all sense of direction and our essence would dissipate. However, we don't rely solely on these beacons. There are currents of ether which flow between them, currents which help guide us to our destination. Now, these currents will gradually dwindle away to nothing if an Aetherite is destroyed. But if even a sluggish flow remains, we could theoretically use it to direct a surge of concentrated ether towards the void left by the beacon, and thereby fill it up again.
Like opening the floodgates to fill a dry riverbed. Though, correct me if I'm wrong, but would we not need a veritable reservoir of ether?
In concert, we might manage to channel a sufficient volume, yet that is not my chief concern. To direct the flow of so great a volume of ether with the requisite precision would be a nigh impossible task in itself.
I barely succeeded in facilitating travel to an unattuned beacon. That which you describe sounds considerably more difficult.
And dangerous. Every person who has attempted to teleport in this fashion has died in the process. They, however, did not have white aura sight at their disposal. I can use it to channel all the ether you can give me into the Aetherite. However, white aura sight cannot retain ether for an extended period of time, so we would need to infuse it immediately beforehand. Just so you know, I'd confidently give this plan better than even odds of success. And if the worst comes to worst, your people won't suffer.
Though it risked the lives of our best and brightest, we have not the time to seek other options. If the ethereal current still flows, we shall carry out Moonbreeder's plan.
That's the spirit. Let's roll the dice.
I have already informed Alphino of our plan to recreate the beacon in the manner Moonbreeda described. He agreed that despite the inherent danger, it represents our only hope of success. He also said that he wished to meet with you at Snowcloak before proceeding. I expect you will find him waiting for you there when you arrive. I want you to know that I appreciate everything you have done on our behalf, Anne, and that I have faith you will return to us, as you always have. And head on over to Snowcloak. There's the glowing ice of Snowcloak. Or is it? Yep, this should be it. Good to see you, Anne. I was starting to wonder if you were having second thoughts. Captain Ilberd sends his regards, by the way. He attends to the interrogation of Eileen Royale in Ul'dah even as we speak. But I shall not distract you from the matter at hand. We can discuss the Ivy upon your return. I trust that, by which I mean to say, the others are waiting for us at the Aetheryte. After you, Scion. There, it's ready. Ha! It worked, I think. Try attuning to the Aetheryte now. Feel for the current and try to locate the beacon. We have done all we can, Anne. For now, let us withdraw. When your final preparations are complete, you must seek out the beacon we have created. If, by the grace of the 12, you arrive safely, you must stop Iceheart before she summons Shiva. All right. And I need to take just a brief intermission here. Be back in just a minute or two. Hey, thanks for your patience. We're back. All right, let's get moving here again. If you're just joining us, welcome to the stream. We appreciate having you here. How are you doing today? Hope everything's okay. Feel free to drop a comment down in the chat. We're here for you. If you'd prefer just to lurk and enjoy the atmosphere and the story, that's fine too. We're just happy to have you along for the ride. We cannot ignore the possibility that our actions have alerted Iceheart to our plans. Should that be the case, she may attempt to hasten the completion of the summoning ritual, and if she succeeds, you will have little choice but to face Shiva in battle. Knowing little of this saint, I cannot say if your own strength will suffice, and so I would encourage you to call upon your allies. Some may have reservations about wagering their lives on the success of Moonbreeda's experiment, but others will surely agree that desperate times call for desperate measures. Before you assemble your party, pray speak with that knight. I believe he has a message for you from Sir Emmerich. All right, I guess we shall do that then. Madam, Sir Emmerich regrets that he could not be here in person and asks that I read you this letter. Ishgard faces an unprecedented threat, yet in our hour of need, it is not her knights who stand poised to defend her. An adventurer, the warrior of light, savior of Eorzea, your deeds this day shall not be forgotten. Where others would flee, you choose to remain. Where others would falter, you rise to the challenge. Where others would use their gifts for selfish ends, you wield yours in service to a greater cause. May Halone bless you with good fortune and see you safely home. All right, we'll queue up for that now. There it is. It says maybe a 5-minute wait. So in the meantime, let's see, in this zone there were some Grand Company log hunt marks here. We could start heading over there and see if we can knock out any of them while we wait here. Let's get that chocobo back out here. So I need 3 more of those. Bold wings, yep. Oh, I need a total of 5 of those. you. Good deal. We'll go into that then. See if I can manage to muddle my way through this one.
You should never have come here, warrior of light. I labor only to forge a lasting peace. A peace you would deny us out of ignorance and blind faith. No matter. If it is our fate to be at odds, then it is mine to strike you down. We whom gods and men have forsaken shall be the instruments of our own deliverance. Partake of my flesh. Fill this vessel with your light. Walk amongst your brothers and sisters once more. Oh, Saint Shiva, still the hatred within our hearts and bless us with eternal grace.
Somebody got Smackdown there. Nice. What do we got for poetics? Oh wow, we've almost maxed out our poetics.
Fool. Blind, bloody fool. You, of all people, should understand the suffering war begets. That no sacrifice is too great if it brings an end to the violence. Mine is the righteous cause. You fight in a war you do not understand. A pawn of liars and schemers. And they are no less ignorant than you, following the creed of their fathers without question, never thinking to ask why. Trapped in a delusion of their own creation, and blind to the truth. Warrior of light, redemption is not beyond us. We who walk before may lead those who walk after. Seek the keeper of the lake. See with eyes unclouded. Do not squander Mother's gift.
And so the vessel withdraws, a predictable outcome. Nevertheless, La Habrea will be pleased. How unfortunate.
By the 12, you're alive. I mean, of course you're alive. Why wouldn't you be? Iceheart did what? And you're certain about that, are you? Dravanians are skilled with glamours, after all. Look, if you say that's what you saw, I believe you. It's just that I've never heard of a primal being summoned like that before. Are you sure you're not injured? Head trauma has been known to cause hallucinations, you see. No? Fair enough. I was only asking. If you ask me, there's naught to be gained from mulling over the implications of your story in the freezing cold. Let's save it for the Rising Stones, eh? I'll get everyone to meet us there. But before that, you had best pay a visit to Whitebrim Front and speak with Alphino. He's probably worried sick about you. That, or he's busy playing at politics with the Ishgardians. Either way, I'm sure he'll be delighted to see you hale and healthy. Speaking of which, you don't have a headache or anything, do you? No? Blurred vision? Oh, no reason. See you again soon. There she is, and none the worse for wear. Was there ever any doubt that the Warrior of Light would succeed? I think I speak for all of us when I say that I should like nothing more than to hear the stirring tale of your victory, if you would be so kind. Well, I fought Shiva. Then we were too late to prevent the summoning. You might say that. But not too late to prevent further loss of life. An outcome worthy of celebration, and one for which we have Anne to thank. Yes, you are right, of course, Sir Aymeric. We should be content with what we have accomplished. I, for one, could not have wished for a better outcome. Shiva is no longer a threat, and the heretics have been routed. Aye, there is the matter of Iceheart's escape, but she cannot run forever. Whether it takes days, weeks, moons, or even years, my knights will find her. In the meantime, Lord Drillamont, is the caravan ready? The supplies that your men recovered have been prepared for transport in accordance with your wishes. Rest assured that my knights will see them safely to Revenant's Toll. Of that I have no doubt. I take it these are the self-same supplies the heretics stole from the House Fortom caravan? Less the crystals, which comprised the bulk of the shipment, yes. Scarcely a fraction of that which was promised, but a meaningful contribution to your cause all the same. Ah, on an unrelated note, Anne, might I trouble you to accompany me to Camp Dragonhead at your earliest convenience? 'Tis not for my benefit. A certain lord was most distressed when he learned of your intent to risk life and limb to stop Iceheart. It took half a dozen knights to restrain him, I am told. Men give vent to their anxieties in myriad ways. Pray, do not think less of him. I almost had my wind talons knocked out too there. Oh, we won't worry about that. It's not terribly crucial at this point. What were you thinking, Anne? Wagering your very being on a dubious theory which might allow you to enter Iceheart's lair, knowing full well that she could have sufficient forewarning to complete her ritual to summon Shiva anyway? And then, engaging the abomination in mortal combat? By the Fury, Anne, 'tis the stuff of ballads, a battle for the ages. Would that I had been there to fight by your side. Yet here I was forced to wait, condemned to wonder at the fate of a dear friend for a veritable eternity. I would not wish such torture on my most hated enemy. But you are here now, and that is what truly matters. Let us move on. Sir Aymeric wished to have words with you and Master Alphino in private. He awaits us in the intercessory. Greetings, madam. I shall show you in at once.
On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, allow me to express my deepest thanks. Never before have we been required to contend with a primal. Indeed, there were fears in some quarters that our knights might not be equal to the task. From what we have now learned of these beings, I can say with certainty that we would have lost a great many men had the Scions not intervened.
Then the argument for preemptive action should be self-evident. Perchance now you will reconsider my proposal that Ishgard move against Nautalon.
Ere we first met, a similar proposal was tabled, but the Holy See decreed that we were to observe, and that military action should be taken only in self-defense. All things considered, it was not an unreasonable decision. Since the calamity, 2 vigils have fallen to the Horde, while Garuda has never shown any inclination to storm the gates of judgment. Which is why this unprecedented crisis and its resolution may prompt a change in policy. You who have faced these primals know well the threat they pose. Ishgard did not. Not until now. And there is naught like a brush with death to change a man's outlook.
At the very least, this should silence any lingering objections to our arrangement with Revenant's Toll. The Holy See may even feel moved to grant us its formal endorsement.
So far as it is possible, the Scions shall be compensated for their service.
We should be grateful for any aid you can provide.
As a gesture of good faith, I shall withdraw my previous request. Your people are doubtless needed elsewhere.
That will not be necessary. We too have a vested interest in watching Dravania's movements.
I see. Once more, I must thank you.
Sir Emmerich, if I may, do you truly believe that Midgardsormr could return?
The heavens are a window unto truth, but those who interpret their movements are not infallible. I requested your involvement as a precautionary measure.
But of course, you sought an excuse to compensate us from the first, mindful of what would happen if Revenant's Toll were taken by your enemies. Ishgard is not wont to aid its neighbors, but that does not preclude it from manipulating them to serve its own interests.
Choose your next words carefully.
Do you know what sort of man becomes Lord Commander of the Temple Knights? One who comes from good stock. I did not. Yet here I am. Now, why do you suppose that is? Because I swiftly learned to tell the difference between words, deeds, and beliefs. You are correct, Master Leveilleur. Ishgard desires to see Revenant's Toll flourish, as it would present a troublesome obstacle to our enemies from the south.
We are so glad to be of use to you.
As we are to you. Ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement, lest we forget, one born of necessity. The dragons grow more restless by the day, and the heretics harry us nigh without cease. We have contended with such troubles for centuries, but there are limits to even our endurance. Yet as a pauper is loath to part with his meager possessions, the leaders of Ishgard are not wont to render up their trust to outsiders. But with perseverance on our part, they may yet be made to see the light. Nevertheless, one must take care when walking the road less traveled.
Wise words, Sir Emmerich. I shall make a point to remember them. I must apologize for my earlier outburst. I hope it will not sour our good relations.
Not at all. You but spoke from the heart. I trust you understand that at times my duties may prevent me from meeting with you. On such occasions, my second-in-command will speak for me.
Lucia, at your service. Pray excuse our reticence. We are but wary of speaking too freely, lest our sentiments be made known to our enemies. Know that the Lord Commander and I are of one mind. For the sake of Ishgard, and of Eorzea at large, I pray our peoples can put aside their differences. Those who dwell in the past risk losing sight of their future.
Should aught befall one of our shipments, pray inform Lucia immediately. You may also relay to her any words you might have for me alone. Not being of Ishgardian birth, she owes no allegiance to any noble house, making her as near to incorruptible as one can find in my homeland. Suffice it to say, I trust her completely, and so may you. Which reminds me, Lord Orchefort, if you would be so kind?
Certainly.
In times such as these, trust is ever in short supply. Mayhap this will go some way to rectify the problem. The results of our investigation into the heretics' recent attacks, as well as our interrogation of the merchant you detained.
Sir Emmerich, I cannot thank you enough.
Think nothing of it. Ishgard may be many things, but it is no friend to Garlemald.
Did I not tell you to have faith, my friend?
It would seem we have much to discuss with our friends at the Rising Stones. If what you say is true, Iceheart's method of summoning Shiva defies all precedent. It necessitates a complete reappraisal of the primal threat and of our approach to combating it. Moreover, there are grave ramifications if word of this incident reaches Imperial ears. The Garlean Empire believes that primals are an insufferable menace, that their mere existence is a threat to this very star. As such, they deem any action taken against the beast tribes to be justified by default. Imagine then, if it became known that it was not only the beast tribes of Eorzea that could summon primals, but her civilized peoples as well, any lingering objections to the Eorzean campaign would vanish overnight. Where before we had to contend with a single Imperial Legion, we could well find ourselves facing the combined might of all Garlemald. But I speak unadvisedly. Come, Anne. It is better that we continue this conversation in Mordona. And I think I will just run over here and grab this last bold wing real quick. There's at least one just outside the gate here. Or wind talon, I guess. Alright. That'll have everything in this zone knocked out. Yep. And we got some more flame seals too, which is always cool.
Words cannot well express how glad I am to see you return to us hale and whole. Needless to say, I am most eager to hear your account of that which occurred in Kurthis, assuming you're ready to speak of it. Excellent. I shall summon the others at once. Iceheart used her own body as a vessel for a primal soul?
Master Louisoir's writings make no mention of such a possibility. Can we be certain this entity was a primal?
As certain as we can be that good King Mogulmog XII was a primal, I should think. Both were ostensibly summoned.
Let's not quibble over definitions. Of more concern is the implication that Iceheart retained her will, even after she was possessed. We are talking about a mortal, wielding the power of a primal.
It can't possibly be that easy, can it? There must be some sort of sacrifice required. Or maybe she's just special?
What qualities this woman possesseth, I know not. But full sure am I that she was groomed for this role. Few are privy to the secrets of summoning, and but a single party standeth to profit from their dissemination.
Well, I wouldn't presume to comment on how the lass came to know about summoning, but I will say that what she summoned was a primal. The readings were the same, or near as damn it. Strange as it all sounds, it's really no different from what you've faced before.
Then mayhap it is time that we re-examined our previous encounters.
Pack your things, Ida. We're going back to Gridania.
Yes, sir.
About Iceheart's final words to you. Hear, feel, think. Hydaelyn speaks to her as well. If Iceheart is blessed with the power of the Echo, she will doubtless have used it to further her goals. Or could it be that it was a revelation granted her by the Echo which first set her on this path? She did say that the Ishgardians were blind to the truth. Do you think she has knowledge of the origins of the Ishgardian-Dravanian War? It would do much to explain her unwavering conviction.
Did not the Lady Iceheart implore thee to seek the Keeper of the Lake? And did she not imply that in so doing thou wouldst come to see with eyes unclouded?
Midgard-Zoma was a king amongst kings who reigned for centuries on end. But he is dead and his wisdom lost to the ages. Unless the Ishgardians' fears are well-founded, it would seem we have yet another reason to stand watch over the Keeper of the Lake. For a mercy, we are well positioned to do so. Iceheart, Shiva, Ascians, and Midgard-Zoma. I shudder to think how they're all connected.
Ponder, ponder, ponder. They give us another weapon coffer, but just for a eye level 110. Okay. I mean to scour the annals for knowledge of Midgard-Zormr. Given his great age, I dare say he appears in more than a few. Do you hear that? The commotion outside. Would you see if aught is amiss? Anne, 'tis well that you are on hand. We have a problem. Royale has escaped. It happened shortly after the Immortal Flames took her into custody. She had been placed in a dungeon cell ahead of her coming trial, but apparently the accommodation was not to her liking. The turnkey was found slain along with 2 guards. 'Tis plain she received inside help. Citizens report seeing Royale quitting the city via the Gate of Nald with a bloodied spear in her hand. She makes for Castrum Meridianum, I am certain of it. With her fate in Eorzea as good as sealed, what recourse has she but to flee to her imperial masters? Even as we speak, Captain Ilbert and the First are hot upon Royale's heels. Pray, make haste to Camp Blue Fog and join the hunt. My thanks for coming, Scion. I have spoken with the soldiers here. They say that Royale walked through the camp not a bell ago. Aye, she walked right through. You did not mishear. We have Raubon's decision to keep the matter secret to thank for that. Bad for morale, he said. As a result, not a single flame in the garrison made any attempt to detain her, and so here we are. Royale must not be allowed to reach Castra Meridianum. This wretch was with Royale. He threw himself at us that his mistress might escape. She didn't blink when we cut him down, not even when he started screaming. No loyalty even to her own, the God's damned harpy. With me, Scion, we almost have her. All right, let's see here. Let's see, what do we got over here? Ooh, thorns. getting out of hand quickly, isn't it? Ah, duty failed. See what happened there. There's too much going on for that. Let's see. Trying to think what we got to do to fix that one. Oh, I'll just put it on very easy. I'm not going to fiddle with that. Too much going on to know what the right thing to do is there. Skip that cutscene. All right. The medic is down. See any others there? Get all these that are close to these guys out of the way. That aqua. Too much going on here. Here we go. Bind her and do it tight. Yes, sir. Good work, man. She and her Imperial cronies pushed us close, but we were better. Behold, a respected officer of the Immortal Flames. People looked up to you as one of the Order's founding members, one of its pillars. It saddens me to see you fallen so low. What would you know of low? You, a spoiled little lordling who's never known any want. People such as you take wealth and birth for granted. You think it your God's given right to rule over others. You know naught of our plight, the injustice that we low-born Ishgardians must endure. To the noble lords and ladies, we are not people, but resources to be consumed. I did what I had to do to survive, stealing, killing, even whoring myself. It is no fault of mine if fools imagined me a paragon when I joined the Flames. To hear you tell it, one would think you the only person ever to have suffered. In case you have forgotten, Ralban himself was born into poverty, as was I. We lived hand to mouth with little more than the shirts on our backs. Hunger was our constant companion. Yet never did we bemoan our lot in life, nor did we begrudge others their fortunes. We accepted the hand that we had been dealt, and played it to the best of our ability. Life was a battle, aye, but no matter what fate threw at us, we took it on the chin and came back for more. Everything we have, we fought for. How are we any different then? 'Tis true that we were both mercenaries of lowly birth, and 'tis true that we both had our fair share of struggles. But whereas I sold my sword, you, Marshal, you sold your comrades. If life has taught me one thing, it is that you never betray your own. I would sooner cut off my own arm than raise a hand against a friend. But enough talk. You will return to Ul'dah to face justice and the people whose trust you have dragged through the gutter. So he would rather give up an arm than betray a friend. Not so much as a hint of remorse. 'Tis well that this sordid business is finally at an end. A friend's betrayal cuts deeper than steel. We must hope that we have chosen our own allies more wisely than Ralban chose his. Oh boy.
I have heard. Truly bothersome business. No, I do not foresee a problem on that front. The main concern is Ralban. There is no telling what the brute might do. Have the Blades watch him and the Flames day and night. You may leave the Sultana to me. I shall personally attend her grace. Sever one of the East Aldenard trade routes. That ought to keep Lolorito occupied for a while. Nanamo Ulnamo. For my sake, pray be a good little Sultana to the last.
Captain Ilbert and I have a few questions for the Flame Marshal regarding the circumstances of her miraculous escape. When we have completed our interrogation, we shall take our findings directly to General Ralban, and that shall be the end of it. Your work here is done, my friend. My thanks. But I have one last task for you. Return to the Rising Stones and apprise Minfilia of all that has happened. I am aware that the antecedent held Royale in high regard. For better or worse, she will want to know how this tale ends. And that's where we'll pick up next time. We're going to go ahead and end the stream here. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 6:30 Eastern Time here in the U.S., 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And we'll be playing Infinite Undiscovery tomorrow, but then for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we'll be resuming Final Fantasy here. So we hope you can join us for our next several days. We sure would appreciate it. Well, we hope you have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And take care of yourself and have a great day. Bye-bye.